In today's video, we're going to be looking at how to identify liquidity in the forex market. That means how can we identify liquidity in the forex market? Now, before we go into identifying liquidity, we simply need to understand what is liquidity, type of liquidity, and how does liquidity work. I'm going to be explaining that in this video. Now, first off, what is liquidity? Liquidity is simply what drives the market. That means for price to move, there simply need to be liquidity in the market. So what is the first thing that should come to your mind once you hear liquidity? Now, the first thing that should come to your mind once you hear liquidity is simply stop losses. Alright? Stop losses is referred to as liquidity. That means a point where there's plenty stop losses is referred to as liquidity. Let me explain. Let's for instance, you want to buy and you buy at this point, put your stop losses here. I buy here, stop losses here. I buy here, stop losses. Another person, but everybody buys and put their stop losses at this point. This point is referred to as what? Liquidity. So liquidity is simply that point where there's plenty of stop losses, or the point where everybody is putting their stop losses in the forex market. And what? Price is also going to what? Seek liquidity. Because liquidity is going to move the market. That means price is always going to come and take liquidity or the fuel that's going to move the market. So on a basic understanding, stop loss or liquidity is simply what? The fuel that moves the market. Or you can say liquidity is simply the stop losses or the pools of stop losses that will move the market. That if you're driving a car, you simply need to put a fuel to your car for your car to move, or a petrol to your car for your car to move. For the forex market to move, price needs to always use liquidity to move the market. And liquidity is simply this point where every other person is simply putting a stop losses. That means a pool of stop losses is referred as what? Liquidity. Now, what are the types of liquidity? There are various types of liquidity in the forex market, but we're going to be looking at only two of these various types of liquidity in the market. We'll have the one, trend line liquidity. We'll have the equal highs and equal lows. These are the two types of liquidity we're going to be looking at in this video. Now, what is trend line liquidity? Trend line liquidity is simply where there is pools of stop losses on a particular trend. That means if price is trending to the upside, there's liquidity here, liquidity here, and price will always want to seek the liquidity before price continues to the upside. So basically, once you see a trend liquidity, it's simply where there's pools of stop losses on a particular trend. Alright? Now, what is equal highs and equal lows? When price creates an equal highs, this point is referred as what? Liquidity. And when price creates an equal lows, this point is referred as what? Liquidity. Alright? These are the two types of liquidity we are going to be looking at in this video. Now, how does liquidity work? Liquidity works in a way that price has to always make a fake move to continue the actual move. That means price has to make a fake move that will take the fuel. That means that will take the liquidity. That means that will take the stop losses for price to continue to the upside. Alright? And now, for every liquidity, there's simply a liquidity sweep and a liquidity grab. I explained this in my last video. But in this particular video, we're going to be looking at how to identify liquidity in this particular video. But before going to that, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Divine, and what I basically do on this channel is document how I trade and as well show you the mindset behind my strategy. If you want to see content like this, I want you to like, subscribe, and as well drop a comment. I will see you on the chat where I'm going to be able to identify liquidity.
Now, for us to be able to identify liquidity on the chart, we simply want to identify liquidity at our point of interest. And for us to get to our point of interest, we simply want to analyze from higher time frame down to our point of interest. So, what I'm basically going to do now is to analyze this pair GBP/USD that I always analyze from the higher time frame down to our point of interest. Possibly, you can see how we can even take entries or look for entries, which might likely take or might not take. Alright, so basically now I'm going to go to the higher time frame and understand what is going on in the higher time frame. Then I'm going to use what's happening on the higher time frame to make decisions on the lower time frame. And we want to start from the daily time frame. On daily time frame, we want to simply see where price is going to and where the key levels are. And if you look closely with our eyes here, we can think that price is going to the upside. Well, we don't like to tell our eyes. We don't like to let our eyes tell us if we are going to the upside or if you're going to the downside. So basically, we want to use our trend line to identify if we are going up or if we are going down. And if you look at this point is a point of support. And for every support, there's a resistance, and for every resistance, there's a support. What this means is that if you see a support, there's likely going to be a what resistance, and at this point is our resistance. So price is currently in an uptrend because support price is above support. Now, when price comes below the support, then we can say price in a downtrend. But currently, price is in an uptrend. So what we want to do next is to identify where the key levels are. And if you look closely, here is a key level, and here is also a key level. So now, what you want to do now is to simply understand what price is doing from this support key level to this resistance key level at this point here, and we want to identify that on the daily time on the 4 hours time frame. Sorry, we want to see what price have done from this support the resistance key level here to this support key level here, and we're going to switch to the 4 hours. Now on the 4 hours time frame, let me zoom in a bit. Okay. On the 4 hour time frame, our concern is what price is doing from this support key level here to what price is doing at this resistance key level here. And if you look closely from this point to this point, price was simply bullish. That means price was in an uptrend, giving us a higher high and a higher low, a higher high and a higher low. But to confirm that still, we can simply even use our trend line to draw and see that price is simply in an uptrend. So basically, what you should look at for on this trend now is to simply see how we can buy. And for us to see how we can buy, we want to simply identify our demand zone. And for us to identify the demand zone, this is what we simply do. I explained types of demand zone and how it works on my previous video. Just in case if you've not watched it, you can go and watch it so that this video is going to make sense to you. Now for us to identify our demand zone, you can simply see that this place is a drop-based rally. So these are our recent demand zone here. These are our recent demand zone. All this means that we're looking for price to come back to this point and give us a buy. But we're not sure yet if price is going to buy from here. And we're not sure what price is going to do if price come back to this point. And we're not even sure if price is going to come back to this point. So basically what we want to do now is to go back to the 1 hour time frame and refine this demand zone. And how do you define it? By simply identifying it with a specific candlestick. So we want to basically do that on the 1 hour time frame. Now on the 1 hour time frame, if you are to refine this demand zone now, we can simply refine it to become something like this. So basically, refining this demand zone is simply seeing how price can become this. So our point of interest now is not this one is here, because once you refine a supply zone or a demand zone, it becomes a point of interest. So this is basically our point of interest. Remember what I said earlier on, that for us to know where to identify liquidity, you simply have to be at our point of interest. So basically, we have arrived at our point of interest, and what we want to do now is to identify where the liquidities are and possibly see how we can use it to take entry. Remember what I explained to you, that we have two major types of liquidity: equal highs and the equal lows, and possibly trend line liquidities. So basically, how do we identify liquidities at this point here? How do we know where liquidities are and everything? Now, where are you seeing an obvious equal highs? You're seeing an equal highs here. It mustn't be perfectly equal highs. You can call it a relatively equal highs or a relatively equal lows. And now if you look below this equal highs that I marked out, you see that price is creating a trend line here. Price is simply creating a trend line. 1, 2, 3. So basically I've identified where there's trend line liquidity, and I've identified where there's what? Equal highs. So what are we looking at for next? We want to simply see what price is going to do. If price is going to sweep the equal highs, or price is going to sweep the trend line. Now, basically, if price sweeps the equal high, it is referred to as a sweep in buy side liquidity. And if price sweep the sell side, it is referred to as a sweep in sell side liquidity. So whatever price does first here, it simply refers as a sweep in liquidity. And after price has finished sweeping liquidity, price is likely going to go for what? A grab in liquidity. Now, we don't know if we're going to buy at this demand zone yet, but everything look perfect for us to buy if price come back to this demand zone, depending on how price come back to this demand zone. Everything look very perfect for us to buy. But because today is NFP, today is Friday, yeah? What's today's date? Today is Friday, 7th of June, and today is NFP. So basically, I like to always avoid trading NFP because of how unpredictable it can be. So everything might look very perfect here now, but price might still see how to sell, take out this liquidity, take out this one that is here, even go down to even take out all these ones that is resting here. Because if you see here, you're also seeing liquidity at this point here. All these points are liquidity. So price can decide to choose what to do and what not to do. Now, our 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 speculation here is this. If price is going to go for the sell side liquidity, which is this one that is here, we want to see price not take out this liquidity before price go for this one. That means we want to simply see price sell off to this point and then give us a buy. But if price first of all goes up for this partial liquidity, then what I want to see price do is I want to see price take out this liquidity. This place will be my TP1, TP2, and even further go down to get to this point here. So basically, my buying or selling depends on what price do when price take out any of this liquidity that I've marked out here. Let me recap. If price take out this liquidity here without going up first, then I will look for a buy. Alright? But if price first of all go to the upside and take out this liquidity here, then I'll look for a sell. It simply means that this demand zone might not likely hold. And if I'm going to sell, I'm expecting the news to push price down to this point here. Let me do some level. I think it's clear now. Okay. Now, if price is going to first of all buy, that is sweep the basal liquidity, now I'll be looking to sell from this point, put my stop loss above this key level here, and target this demand zone here as TP1, target this point as TP2, and further even go target this point as TP3. That means I'm expecting the price or the news to push price to the downside, or if price does not take out basal liquidity first and price go for the sell liquidity, then I'm expecting the news to what? Basically do something like this. To sweep the sell liquidity, come into my demand zone and even go as high as possible. But my normal setup or my normal trading style is simply to target this particular liquidity that is here as my TP. My stop loss is going to be above this point here. So basically, this is my setup normally. This is what I look for when I come to the market. But because today is news and anything can happen, price can decide to lay me out of the market by bundling me out. Just simply, just simply come to this. Just simply do something like this. First of all, buy, sell to this point, sell to this point, and as well even sell to this point. So if price does this first, that means if London stocks are open and price start going to the upside, I'm simply looking for a sell at the NFP. But if price are going to the downside, then I'm looking for a buy for the NFP. Alright? So basically this is my speculation on GPUSD today being NFP, and I'm not going to take any trade today. This will be the end of this video. I will see you in my next chat. Peace.